The opinions and suggestions expressed on the following program are solely those of the participants and are not necessarily endorsed by KRMG, Cox Media Group Incorporated, or the program sponsors. This following program is sponsored by Causeway, LLC. Information in this broadcast is not intended as an investment, tax, or financial advice. Matthew Moore is not a licensed investment advisor and speaks solely from his experience and opinions. All information in this broadcast is for entertainment or educational purposes only. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa are not responsible for the success or failure of any person's investment decisions or purchases. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa makes no and expressly disclaims all representations, warranties, and guarantees with respect to this broadcast and its sponsors. Investing in any market is inherently risky and can be financially dangerous. Invest at your own risk. Gather knowledge in the world of cryptocurrency right now on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's news and talk. Welcome to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. Matthew is locally based right here in Tulsa. Questions, comments, concerns? Call 918-460-5764 or send us an open mic using the KRMG app. Now, here's Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore.
And good Sunday evening to you. My name is Russell Mills. Thank you very much for tuning in for Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore here on 102.3 KRMG. We are live and local on a steamy Sunday in the big city, and it is going to be hot this week. So one quick note, make sure you stay plenty hydrated this week because you do not want to have a problem with heat sickness of any kind. Now, if you're looking around at the world of cryptocurrencies and thinking, that's something I might be interested in, you have come to the right place. We are here to help you out, and we are led by the capable man whose name is on the title of the show, Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Russell. Thanks so much. Yes, the weather is hot, the pavement is hot, but this show is even hotter, so I want to welcome back Tulsa, but I also want to welcome back the world because, yes, we might live on Tulsa time, but we have listeners from all around the globe. This is one of America's only radio shows dedicated to Bitcoin and the topic of cryptocurrencies. And every Sunday, yes, we engage with world changers who are literally, no joke, literally making history. And today's guest is changing the game when it comes to traditional payroll and HR services. Companies who see the future of finance and are adopting cryptocurrencies at a record pace. It really is happening. And even though markets might be going down and will probably continue to go down, this is definitely not a deterrent from mass adoption. In fact, bear markets are often when you can separate yourself from the noise, put your head down, get the most fundamental work accomplished. And today we are going to do just that. And to help me hash out this hard labor is my good friend and co-host, Eric Cooper.
Matthew, it's pretty good because we love being here every single weekend. But if you started to buy last year about this time, you were buying some pretty pricey crypto, right? some Bitcoin. Now it is on discounts. So again, this is the opportunity because you got to get yourself in the mindset of how much Bitcoin do I own from the 1.05 Bitcoin versus the I owe, $29,000 worth of Bitcoin. And so it's good. But today I'm really pumped up to be chatting with a special guest. His name is Charles Reed. And like you said a second ago, this company is literally making history. Charles is the CEO of getpayroll.com. They are the world's first traditional payroll and HR company to adopt. They'll adapt. They've been adapting. Now they're adopting Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And this was all made possible by our show sponsor, Hedge.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, Eric, I think their partnership with Hedge will make cryptocurrency way more accessible to the masses, and that's definitely part of the strategy. But with new inflation numbers still climbing month over month, our dollars are losing purchasing power at a record pace. But the new CPI inflation numbers for May, if you don't already know, came in at 8.6%, and as I personally expected, it's still going up. And inflation is, eating away at the middle class, if you were to ask me. And one of the ways to possibly, I'm going to say possibly, protect yourself might be to allocate some of your paycheck into Bitcoin. Now, don't get me wrong, I am biased here, and this is a new technology, but it is a fascinating space, a fascinating technology that has a lot of potential to really change the world. And I will note that I fully expect most asset classes, and this is even Bitcoin, to continue to crash even further as the Federal Reserve continues to raise rates and continue quantitative tightening. There's a saying in the space that people often say, which is, don't fight the Fed. Well, Matt, what do you mean by that? Well, the Federal Reserve basically controls the tides and the waves of liquidity. And oftentimes that affects, the overall market and the economy. And yes, the Fed will raise rates again. They will be hawkish at this next meeting because inflation is a problem. So they are going to have to put their foot down and say some strong words as well. But I think, as far as, rising prices continue, this is going to be a time of stagflation. And stagflation is simply defined by, inflation or rising prices continuing to go up, but also economic growth slowing down. And so the crypto markets or any other markets will not recover, in my opinion, until the central bank is forced to reverse course. So eventually, I expect that the Fed's actions to try to curb inflation will fail and that they will destroy the economy as they try. But once they do that, they'll be forced to continue their inflationary policies even more in order to save the economy, which they impacted. But by pumping this new liquidity into the economy, this will cause markets and asset prices to go back up. But, what do I know? I'm just some Bitcoin fanatic. This is not financial advice, and I would encourage you to do your own homework. These are just my thoughts and opinions.
And, Matt, that's it's great. We're just going to have to wait and see because, again, we have a lot of supply issues, and if everybody quits buying because they don't have any money to spend, some of those supply chains are going to come back. And so we've got a little bit of a process here. For now, though, we're going to have a great conversation. And today, that conversation once again, is the CEO of getpayroll.com, Charles Reed. Charles, are you on the line with us, sir?
I surely am, gentlemen.
Well, welcome to the show. Would you mind in introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about your company.
Sure. We've been in business for just over 30 years. Started out small and local and have grown. We're a national firm. We provide payroll processing and payroll-related services to small and medium-sized businesses around the country.
So let me ask you this, Charles. This is Matt here. How long have you guys been around, and who is your target market for your company?
Well, Matt, we started in 1991. My incorporation is from August 17th of that year, so over 30 years now. And our target market is really businesses under 50 employees. Now, we have some bigger ones. We have some that run several hundred employees. Most of them have grown that way. But we go after the 95% of businesses that have 50 employees or less in the country.
So, okay, well, first and foremost, being on the cutting edge or doing things differently, it's not new to you guys. I mean, if I understand correctly, at least that's, how I was listening to you talk and some other interviews, the things that you guys have done as a company has been unique. I mean, the way you advertise, the way you utilize your sales force, it's somewhat different than most. And you guys are really digitally focused. Is that a correct assumption there?
Absolutely. We were the first green payroll back in the 90s, where we went to a absolutely digital payroll, all electronic around the country. And we were very early into the web as a payroll company, which allowed us to expand nationally. So that was one of the things. We do our advertising digitally. We're now producing actually digitally produced videos. I mean, electronic, not real people, but, using software. We sell our sales is here. We don't call door to door. We don't send people out. We don't have the expense of maintaining a 5,000-person sales staff that turns over every year. So it allows us to be much more efficient in our sales and our marketing and pass on that savings to our clients.
So what was the motivator on that? Because it obviously sounds like you're doing things vastly different than what your competitors have been doing.
Well, I was lucky. When I joined the United States Marine Corps back in 1967, they put me in data processing. And then they sent me to IBM, and I became a programmer and a systems engineer. So I've lived the digital world since I was 17 years old. And not too many of us old dudes my age started out in the digital world. So it gave me a different viewpoint than a lot of my competitors that, they hire a programmer or they get somebody to set up their computer. No, I've lived that life for over 50 years. So that gave me a real boost up.
That's fascinating. So obviously that you're already inclined to look at digital things, and I think obviously cryptocurrencies plays a part in that. And I really want to dive more into that and ask you some questions around that, because you guys are literally changing the game. You're setting a new precedent. You're creating history, and definitely we're going to have more from Charles Reed on segment 2, and we'll dive into why his company Get Payroll decided to incorporate this new thing called cryptocurrency into their services. And I promise you don't want to miss it. This is going to be a really cool conversation.
You are listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. That was the voice of Matthew J. Moore. And if you'd like to read more about him, learn more about him, he's got a website all fixed up for you. It's at Matt J. Moore, M-A-T-T, letter J, MOORE.com. We'll be back with more of Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore after a quick timeout. You're listening to 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. I'm Russell Mills. Do appreciate you hanging out. Happy Sunday evening to you. Going to be a hot week out there. 90s, upper 90s, heat indices above 110 like it was today. So yeah, make sure you stay safe out there. Do be very careful. Meanwhile, let's get back to the world of cryptocurrencies, and it is a rapidly shifting landscape out there. So you came to the right place if you're trying to keep up with all of that. And here is our host, Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Russell. Yes, that's right. The world might seem shaky in many ways, but we're here to talk about a new and evolving technology that's going to shake up the world. No doubt. I really do believe that. It's blockchain technology. It's cryptocurrency. And yes, my favorite, Bitcoin. But to help me go through this conversation and this show, who is here with me almost every Sunday, is my faithful co-host, Eric Cooper.
And it is changing, Matt, because we heard it about in Miami. Again, it's a strike. Jack Mallers. I mean, things are changing. Disruption is coming, so it's good. But if you don't know about this show, we've been going on for quite a while now. This is episode 50. Episode 50. Congratulations! We got balloons and confetti happening right now. But you can go back, check out Apple Music, Spotify, Google, YouTube. Just look for Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. Also, you can go on KRMG, the on-demand function, and go back and listen to all of our episodes.
Yes, and if you were curious about how we get to keep this forward-thinking program on the air, it's because of our great sponsors. And Eric, can you do me a favor and give our show sponsor a shout-out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This segment's made possible by a company called Hedge. If you don't have a strategy to obtain cryptocurrency on a regular basis, you need to. You need to start planning and automating your dollar cost averaging. What about getting all or even part of your paycheck in Bitcoin? Hedge is revolutionizing how you can get paid. Hedge makes it easy to automatically convert your pay into crypto. Whether you're an employer or employee, you can get started in 4 easy steps. Start getting paid in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. Crypto is a long-term play. Start a strategy today. Hedge is here to make it easy to stack them sats month after month. What are you waiting for? Start living life on the Hedge. Check them out at gethedge.io. Once again, gethedge.io.
That's right, Eric. And on the line with us today is a special and unique guest. His name is Charles Reed, and he is the CEO of a company called getpayroll.com. And they are the first traditional payroll and HR company to offer cryptocurrency services to their clients. Charles, thank you for joining us today. Recently, you actually teamed up with our sponsor Hedge to make these services possible. Can you explain to me why you guys chose to team up with Hedge to offer this to your customers? I'm assuming it's not because their website is gethedge.io. yours is.
You had the get.
No.
You both are getters.
No. I understand, but no. We looked around for a partner that could give the services to our clients that we wanted to provide. We were already doing cold storage, but we wanted to offer those people that are employees of our clients a wider alternative rather than just cold storage. And Hedge seemed like the perfect operator for that. We looked around, we looked at a lot of companies, and Hedge just offered some abilities and opportunities and experience and security, which is in the payroll business extremely important, that some of their competitors didn't seem to have to us.
Charles, I'm a sucker for the Genesis story. When did you actually discover Bitcoin, and what sold you on Bitcoin? And then is this because you think this is where the future's going?
Well, I got into Bitcoin personally, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I had heard about it. I looked at it. I'm used to be a stockbroker and a registered investment advisor. I'm also a certified public accountant. So, numbers and finance and investment are kind of my thing. And Bitcoin, crypto, offers some capabilities that other fiat currencies don't. And so it's in certain situations for me, it was very usable and worth the extra cost that was involved in that at the time, particularly. It's not as expensive now as it was in the past to get into things. And so I found it very useful for my personal needs in the financial market. And so I've invested in it.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you're obviously invested, but if you don't mind me asking, what are some of your favorite projects?
I'd rather not get into my personal investments, but one of the things I use it for is online purchases and to transfer internationally. It does some things there that it's hard to beat.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, let me ask you this question. With your background, it's very unique to see how people latch on to this space and these ideas. Some people, who have a more traditional financial background, either find it extremely hard to wrap their mind around, and then there's other people who have just kind of gone, gung ho and really understand it and really grasp everything. Do you think that your background helped, or do you think what's the story or your opinion on that?
I think my background definitely helped me adapt to it. But I've been in the investing segment since I was 14 years old or younger. I was buying stocks when I was still in high school. So I've looked at things constantly for the last 60 years. And if you don't move forward in the investing world, you're in a hole and you'll get buried. Okay? Yeah. So you've got to look at things and you've got to look at change. Technology's changed, changes in my business monthly almost. How we move money has changed. How we move payrolls. We do more payrolls with less people than we've ever done because it's all electronic and all moving forward. Software is better, hardware is better, new things come out. I'm able to offer things for my clients that didn't exist 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago. So if you don't move forward, you in this market, it's a real problem.
So we got about 2 minutes left before we got to go to break. But I mean, here's a question I wanted to ask: How do you guys see a partnership with Hedge evolving? Where do you see this going with them?
We like Hedge. Hedge seems to be a good fit. Where it's going to end up, I don't know, but they're expanding their services, which we'll offer to our clients. We're getting some good interest from our clients on it, and I think Hedge is a good fit, particularly for those under 40 people who have adopted this, unlike my age group that in many cases have not. So I think that Hedge is going to be a really valuable partnership, and will expand over the coming years.
I love it. Well, we're going to have some more great questions coming up in segment 3. But if you're curious, if you want more information on this show or even just about the space in general, you can go to my website, mattjmoore.com, and I would love to help you out. Please stay put and keep the dial tuned because we're going to have more great content and questions from Mr. Charles Reed.
Actually, I've got one quick follow-up question. We've got about a minute here, which is you mentioned that folks and I'm going to say our generation because it sounds like you might be in my age range. How are you talking to them? I'm 60. How do you talk to them about this, or is there even much interest there?
I'm 72, and no, there's not much interest. I play a lot of poker, live poker, and when I'm talking to people under 40 at the table, crypto comes up all the time. When I'm at a table full of my generation, it never comes up. So I don't even try anymore. If they're not interested, they're not interested. Those that are, great. Have wonderful discussions.
Fair enough. All right, we'll go ahead and take that time out. We've got some news to get you caught up on, and we'll be back with more of Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. You're listening to 1023 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Thanks for joining us. Stick around. We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We are live in Tulsa, Oklahoma on a balmy, hot Sunday. Hope that you've enjoyed your weekend. Now you can sit back and relax as we hold your hand and walk you through the world of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies. You know, it can be a bit daunting, but if you got somebody you trust right by your side, it makes it a lot easier, right? Here is the guy we trust to lead us down that path. His name is Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Russell, that's right. Yes, we do this every Sunday because we want to keep things going. We want to keep it, stay it on the edge, right? You know, the show's all about being cutting edge. And yes, as Russell was saying, there's a lot that goes into this space, but that's okay. That's why we have these conversations. That's why we bring on these awesome guests. And that's why I have an awesome co-host, Eric Cooper.
We've got Charles Reed here. And Charles, you know, your company it's fascinating to me. My degree is in accounting. So when I hear, you know, something about finances, yeah, it always gets me a little bit, you know, I guess riled up because you're right. There's, you know, this is a consistently evolving industry. And so my, I guess, curiosity is the response that you've got at this point. How's the overall been, you know, with you guys doing cryptocurrency? And do you see people mimicking your company going forward?
Well, we've gotten a good response from our clients. We're signing people up. It's going to be expanding. Do I expect competition? Of course. You know, can't be first in the market and always be the only one in the market. Whether you be Apple or IBM or anybody else, you are going to attract competitors. So we are going to. We like to think that our reputation and the fact that we are first mover and that we offer a great value and great service and things that our competitors don't offer will keep us in the lead on this, but only time will tell.
Was it always your goal to be first, or did you just happen to get everything lined up quicker?
It's always nice to be first mover, but that wasn't the point. The point was to provide this additional service to our clients and their employees in a rational, safe, competitively priced way. We don't want to go off half-cocked. We don't want to just throw things at the market. We want something that is usable, reasonable, safe, and effective.
So here, I guess here's the question that I want to ask, which is, what kind of advice would you give to those people who are wanting to utilize your services for cryptocurrency? I mean, this is obviously new. Is there anything that they should be mindful of?
Well, as in any investment, you need to know what you're doing. You just can't throw money into something just, you know, willy-nilly. That's always a mistake. You should understand what you're investing in and why you're investing in. You need to have a balanced portfolio. You need to understand how to balance it. You need to understand what the various asset classes are and how to use them effectively. Crypto is just one additional asset class that didn't exist before, which is a problem for a lot of people, particularly my age, that don't understand that. It's just another class of assets that's new. And so understand that and utilize it effectively in your mix of investments.
So when it comes to, you know, this new asset class, obviously there's going to be regulations, but is there anything that you see as being helpful or useful? Like what should the government do and not do when it comes to the services that you guys are trying to provide?
Well, one of the things that happened is I was on the IRS Advisory Council for 3 years. And the whole conversation of crypto and taxation of the gains and losses in crypto was a major discussion. And when I left, they had not set full policy yet. It is still in the process because the IRS moves at the pace of snails in the middle of winter, very slowly. So the IRS is going to have regulations concerning the taxability of it. But as far as the Fed and the Federal Reserve System and moving money and ACH and checking accounts and all this kind of thing. The regulations are pretty well established for moving money, and as long as they treat crypto like a fiat currency that it is, there shouldn't be a problem. Additional regulation probably isn't going to help much, if not hinder, because the way that the regulations on moving money have been developed over at least 600 years. So I don't really see them changing much. Hopefully.
Yeah. On Twitter, you were recently posting about the red flag auditors, what they look for when reviewing payroll procedures. What should we know about cryptocurrency? Does that have any effect with that?
Yes, of course. A lot of people don't understand crypto still, and so it is strange to them, and it being new, being unusual to a lot of people, they're scared of it, and they don't understand it. And so in many cases, with auditors and with bankers and with investment advisors, you may have to educate them on what you're doing and why you're doing it and the security that's involved in it. Sure, like any investment, there's some risk, but properly handled cryptocurrency is in itself is not risky. The market variation and the market changes, obviously, whether it be the stock market or gold, silver, or gems or fine paintings, there is always market risk. But crypto is not something to be feared because it's new. And that's something that we're getting over in the marketplace, and we're helping with having it now available as part of your payroll. Anybody can sign up for payroll services, and their employees can get part of their pay in crypto tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're making it more mainstream in doing so.
Absolutely. You guys are definitely doing that. And that's what I love about what you guys are accomplishing here. I mean, we're having, the economy and the demographics that make up the economy are obviously changing. And the typical millennial has just turned 30, and over half of the U.S. population are now under 40. And as this, what's that?
Just children.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. We just got out of our diapers, including me. But, as my generation and demographic, continue to grow up, and this shift occurs, obviously every generation has had their preferred asset class. The baby boomers had equities, and Gen X were really excited about hedge funds. But do you think that crypto is the asset of choice for millennials? I mean, and if so, what does this mean for the economy and industries at large?
I think there's a lot of truth in that belief that crypto is something that the younger generation, the millennials and below, are interested in and have begun to understand the usability of it. And that makes it more desirable for them because they understand it, and it's not my father's investment. Okay? Grandfather had his equities and his IBM and his General Motors, and, those things have gone through terrible times. So this is something new and different, and a lot of people are going to get into it strictly because of that. And that's not wrong, but they need to understand what they're doing. And that's the point with all of this, is that they need to understand investing and what they're doing. And as long as they do that, it's a new asset. It offers unique opportunities and capabilities that other investments and other asset classes don't have. So, great. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, there's, obviously you guys are breaking new ground here, and you've incorporated this. You're moving forward with this. Was there much pushback, or did you kind of get those those sideways stares that the dogs often give to you when you're talking something that's so foreign? How is the overall evolution of you guys incorporating this? Was it pretty smooth sailing, or did you have some hoops to jump through?
Frankly, it's been smoother than I expected.
Really?
Okay, and we're dealing with a lot of people, obviously, in our industry and with our clients. And frankly, The younger ones are getting into this and like the idea, and we're getting on the hedge side, of course, from their employees that don't need their employer to necessarily approve it, which is nice. So even if you got an old fuddy-duddy employer, as long as he's doing payroll with Get Payroll, he doesn't have to say whether or not you can buy crypto. That's up to the employee themselves. So that's good. So, yeah, we've had some side glance and people say, well, why are you doing this? Because they don't understand. For those younger ones, it's been nothing but, hey, great, where do I sign up? So
Charles,
we've been happy with that.
We got about 90 seconds here, but a pretty easy one. Who gets to be the who drew the short straw to train all your staff, or are you guys kind of just handing that all up to Hedge when it comes to the crypto training?
Well, the training for crypto really doesn't impact us. It's just another way of moving money for us. So the crypto side is handled by Hedge, and they have the sign up for the employees and the know your client and make sure that there's no fraud going on and so on for their purposes. For us, it's one more direct deposit, so it's not a big deal.
Right. And if you're listening to this program, we're getting ready to go to break here, but you might be scratching your head going, wow, I did not know that companies like this are incorporating this and getting involved at such a large level. And I just want to encourage you. This is the time to start learning. This is time to put your head down, do your homework, especially when prices are down and people are, not talking about it quite as fervently. This is really where you can, gain a lot as far as knowledge. And even if you start investing, I encourage you, go to my website, mattjmoore.com. I've got a book, I've got resources, links, tons of stuff. And hey, guess what? If you want me to hold your hand through this process, you can set up a consultation as well. I'm here for you guys. And this is why we do the radio show. So when we come back, we're going to have more with Charles.
Charles Reed, specifically of getpayroll.com. If you'd like to learn more about their services, getpayroll.com is the website. Quick time out, and we'll be back with more of Cryptocurrencies with Matthew J. Moore on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Well, welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We are live and local in the big city of Tulsa on a steamy Sunday afternoon. My name's Russell Mills. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We do appreciate it. We are here live every Sunday starting at 5 p.m. Tulsa time, so make sure you join us next week. But we've still got business to conduct this week. Let's bring him back in, our host, Matthew J. Moore. Matt?
Hey, thank you, Russell. That's right. I want to welcome all of you Bitcoin lovers and crypto-curious individuals. Yes, you might have a bunch of questions, but you've tuned into the right channel, the right spot. And yes, we do have wonderful conversations every Sunday. And somebody who is on that Bitcoin train with me is my co-host, Eric Cooper.
I want to do a train sound, but I don't. There we go. Choo-choo.
Well, you know what? I do want to make mention that we only get to come here every Sunday and have this great conversation because of our sponsors. And so this segment is only made possible by our sponsor today. They are a local and also our newest sponsor. And yes, spring and summer, it's in the air. And you know what that means for Oklahoma. Tornadoes and that nasty pollen. So, there's nothing we can really do about tornadoes. And we definitely want you to be safe. But we can definitely help you with that yellow pollen-tinted car that becomes so prevalent this time of year. That's why this segment is brought to you by Bubble Up Car Wash in Broken Arrow off of 470 East Kenosha Street. And they are Broken Arrow's newest locally owned car wash with all the bells and whistles to make your car clean, shiny, and dry. Come take advantage of their free vacuums, air wands, and towels. And yes, they have unlimited wash plans. So guess what? Even if you went through all that mud and your car is caked with mud, just for $19.99 a month, you can add also a family member or another vehicle. Even if you went mudding with two vehicles, they got you covered. They can take care of it. They can make things clean. So what are you waiting for? No matter what your activities have been, go cheer up at Bubble Up. And who knows, you might get a catch of their glimpse of their family dog, Bentley, the Bubble Up pup. You can check them out at www.mybubbleiup.com. Today, we've had a great chat with Charles Reed. He is the CEO of GetPayroll.com, and they are the first company of its kind to offer cryptocurrency solutions. But before we close out the show today, we have a few more questions for him. And so, Charles, I do want to start here with this question on this segment. Now that you guys are in the space, Do you plan to attend any cryptocurrency conferences? And what is your plan to get your products and services in front of people who might be interested? The people in the crypto space.
Well, we're getting invites to crypto conferences, and we'll probably be attending some. I don't know which ones yet. As far as getting our product out, we're everywhere in the digital space. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and we have YouTube videos. We blog all the time. I've been on a couple of hundred interview blogs over the last couple of years, year and a half, excuse me, since my book came out. So we're trying to talk to people all the time. I think we're going to be on a radio broadcast this Sunday.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. Is it Sunday and are we on the radio?
Charles, tell me a little bit about the book, and then part two of my statement is remind people that it's easy to use your services and give them a little 1, 2, 3 step by step.
Sure. The book is the Payroll Book, a guide for small business and startups, and it goes through everything you need to know about payroll. And if you find it's too much, my phone number's in the book.
Wow. Okay.
As far as easy to use, we're very customer centric. We make the sign up and the procedure to get on board with payroll as simple as possible, unlike some of our competitors. And so once a company signs up, we step them through. For the employees to sign up for crypto, it's all online. It's all done through the Hedge system. It's simple and easy. So we constantly are working to improve the process to make this easy for our customers and for their employees. So, and we do everything that any of the payroll companies in this country do, and sometimes more. So we can give our clients full service for everything they need with a lot better service. And, if you have a problem, call and ask for Charles. I'll talk to you.
I love it.
Awesome.
Well, we've got a little under 2 minutes before we got to close out the show. But, for being such a forward-thinking individual, I do want to ask you this question. We were talking about the future here in the economy and business at large. What would it be, what should people keep their eye on and be mindful of as we move forward in the year ahead?
Oh, well, as you were talking about earlier with the economy and the Fed and inflation, you need to look to your investments. You need to continually balance your portfolio with the changes that are happening. Crypto is an asset class you need to evaluate for your needs and whether or not it is. Obviously, we all talk about dollar cost averaging and buying crypto and so on, which makes a lot of sense in buying any asset class. So you just need to keep heads up. This is not the time to put your head down in the sand. Things are changing too rapidly. Technology is continuing to change. Crypto's changing. Regulations are changing. And the world is going through some major upheavals at the moment. So keep your eyes out.
Well, Charles, I just want to thank you again for joining us today on the radio. It's been great to have you on the show. But can you please let people know one more time how they can follow your work and your company?
We are getpayroll.com. You can find us on the web. You can find my book there. You can find all of our services. Get Payroll, it's real simple. Our tagline is Got Payroll, Get Payroll. So we're there. Plus, we're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. We're on all the social media. So you can find us there. You can find our videos on YouTube, both our educational ones and our fun ones. And we got some fun ones out there. My videographer likes to have fun with some of those things. So you'll be entertained as well.
All right, Charles Reed of getpayroll.com. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks, of course, to Matt and Eric and the whole crew here at the old KMR. And we'll be here next Sunday for more Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. I'm Russell Mills. See you then.